Hello Pioneers, in the last episode of our MEGAFACTORY build series, we transformed our city's roads with truck logistics, tunnels, and drones for efficient transport. This episode, we take on high-tech production by designing an open-style factory for diamonds and time crystals. To highlight the beauty of these machines, we surround the build with futuristic archways. Can we create a stunning and functional factory? Let's find out. With our SAM fluctuators online, we now have one of our 4 components to make the alien power matrix. So to remind you guys what we're trying to do, we're trying to get the materials for the alien power augmenter, which is the alien power matrix, to get more power in our base. And SAM fluctuator was our first component. Our next component is going to be the power shards, which is not going to be an easy component to make. Let's see what we need for that. So we're already making the quartz crystal. We need to start making time crystals and dark matter crystals. So time crystals are made out of diamonds, so we've got to get something going for diamonds, I guess, is the next thing to do. Now there's a bunch of alternate recipes for diamonds which I don't have, so let's figure out which one is the best one for diamonds. After looking through all of the different recipes to make diamonds, I kind of like oil-based diamonds the best because it's just the simplest for the most yield of diamonds. The one that actually gives the most yield of diamonds gives 60 per minute, and that's like the turbo fuel diamonds, but then you'd have to make packaged turbo fuel. So I'm not really sure which one's the best. And if we look at time crystals, with 60 diamonds we can make a decent amount of time crystals, I think. Well, with a full belt of 600 crude oil, we can actually make 120 diamonds, and that's 60 time crystals per minute, which I think is a decent amount of time crystals to get us started. Later on, if I put down a MAM, we actually have unlocked a bunch of diamond recipes, which we can use a little bit later on to supplement our diamond usage. So one of them is not cloudy diamonds. This one's like the most useless diamond recipe, where it turns, like the standard one is just coal into diamonds, right? But this one turns coal and limestone into diamonds at a worse rate for some reason. I don't see the use of that one. Pink diamonds is good as well because it just uses coal and quartz crystal, and it creates these diamonds at a decent rate. So with 1200 belt of coal, you can create like quite a decent amount, like 150 diamonds per minute, but that does involve a lot of coal as well. So I think we're going to go with our standard diamond. And later on, there's this petroleum coke into diamonds, which can supplement our diamond production when we start producing petroleum coke, which is how we'll probably deal with the waste product coming out of our plastic production. We'll turn that into petroleum coke, and then we'll just turn that petroleum coke straight into diamonds. Sounds like a plan. But for now, let's go for 3 particle accelerators to turn 600 crude oil into 120 diamond. I think that's a decent plan, and 3 particle accelerators isn't going to be too much of a drain on our power supply. Let's see how that plays in with our alien power matrix production. So currently we're producing 50 SAM fluctuators. I'm gonna write that down. Well, surprisingly, everything works out nicely with the maths that we're trying to do. So at the moment, we've got 5 of these machines producing 10 SAM fluctuators each. So we've got 50 SAM fluctuators to work with. And if we look at the alien power matrix, 50 is like 4 of these machines, whatever it is, quantum encoders. And 4 of these machines needing 7.5 power shards each is going to need 30 power shards. And then if we look at the power shard recipe, I think that supports around 6 of these quantum encoders that can make power shards. And with 6 quantum encoders, we're going to need 60 time crystals, and that's exactly how much we're producing, because 60 time crystals is 120 diamonds, and we're going to make 120 diamonds out of a full pipeline of crude oil. So that works out nicely for us. So I guess we'll just make our diamonds over here for now. But before we can craft an area, we need to measure out, when we inevitably have to expand this, we're going to tile another one of these buildings 90 degrees this way on top. So we're going to have to measure out like roughly how that's going to go. So let's figure out the width first. The way I like to measure is just by using the dismantle tool. Well, that's too much. So from here to here is 9 tiles, right? So that means if we're going to tile it over, it's going to be 9 tiles across this way. So there, right on this line is basically where it's going to go, right? So let's just put down something to denote that. I'm just going to put down a cube saying that that's going to be the end. So that's how wide the factory is going to be. And then the lengthwise of the factory is it's 18 tiles long, right? So then if we go across here, we can measure out 18 tiles to figure out how wide that's going to be. So starting from here is probably where we're going to tile from. And this is a rough measurement. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just gives us a rough idea. So around here is going to be the end of the factory. So I'm going to build another thing here. So when we build the box, it's going to be above here and go from here to here to here to here, right? And we'll leave 1 tile of space, 2 tiles of space, and then we'll build our next factory with 3 tiles of gap here, so it fits right here. That's perfect. So I'm going to build some more floor for this now. If you're enjoying the video and you want to support Data Engineer Plays, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comment section. Our floor is in, and now if you'll recall from our fuel episode, our crude oil is right down here, fortunately for us. This one is a normal one, I believe. So that's not going to help us too much. But this one over here is a proper 600. If we put in all our power shards, it's a proper 600 cubic meter node. So we can bring that up over into our factory. So I'm just going to quickly tile some stuff on the floor, so it's not building directly on the floor. I'm going to probably just borrow this tiles area, maybe. Is that smart to do? It's kind of got stuff in the way. I reckon we can probably borrow this area and come up, and then we'll go that way. We'll figure it out in a bit. But basically we're going to use this oil extractor over here. Something like that. And then that's just going to go up this wall, and then we'll bring the pipe up over to this diamond factory area. Now we're going to have to figure out how to make the actual diamonds. So it's just particle accelerators, literally 3 particle accelerators. So it doesn't need to be anything super complicated, but let's just figure out how big a particle accelerator is and what kind of room we need to leave for it. Let me denote where our thing's going to start. Now, since our thing is right here, maybe we'll just give it some extra room and just start our factory 2 tiles from the drone station. Seems like a decent thing to do, because when this thing tiles up, that's going to be the end of the building, and the drone station is there. So we probably want to, like, we can move the drone station later on top of this building or do something cool like that. But for now, I think we'll just start it from, say, give it like 1 tile of room and just start it from here. All right, let's see what a particle accelerator looks like. It's actually not that big. So if we turn it this way, 1, 2, 3, it's actually perfectly fits 3 particle accelerators here. And I mean, I think particle accelerators look so cool that I probably don't want to house them completely inside a building. I kind of want to put them maybe on some sort of platform and then display them. Is probably a good idea. So let's start building something. Find the center line of this build, and we'll start building it from here, and we'll try to end at the same zone as this area. So we already know this is 18, right? Is it 19 or 18? Yeah, it's 18, and this is the 9, right? I believe. Yeah, so this is the center line. So I'm just going to mark the center line over here and denote where we're going to start the factory and where we're going to end the factory, which is around here somewhere. I'm just going to add 1 extra tile to show that that's the center point, and then we're going to just bring it all the way out to the front, which is around here. And I'm just going to draw a box to see how big our particle accelerators need to be, which is not that big. But if we want 1 extra tile of space, say like here, let me just see if I can fit these 3 back in here. That actually fits perfectly. Nice. And then we've got some free room over there. Okay, that's perfect. So we can start building sort of like a cool platform for these 3 particle accelerators, and we're not going to do anything super crazy. But if we do something like this, I think this is a nice little space for the particle accelerators. Now I want a platform for them, because whatever belt magic we want to do, maybe we want to hide it underneath the particle accelerators. I don't know what we're going to do yet. Because if you think about it, we're going to bring crude oil pipes in, and then we're going to have to, yeah, there's going to be a pipeline somewhere. So I have to figure that out. So to elevate the platform, we're probably just going to put some regular floor. We'll do 1 meter floors like this. All right, so here I filled in the floor with 1 meter floors. That's where our particle accelerators are going to go. Now for the actual lead up to the 1 meter floor, I'm thinking we do it on a slant. I think that would look cool. Let's try it. So we do these ramps like this. Don't want this one. Something like this. And do this side as well. I have no plans for this platform. I'm just experimenting with stuff as I go. Now there's a corner tile that we can use to fill in these corners. Down corner ramp, I think, works perfectly. You'd think the down corner ramp is what fits perfectly in here. Or is it just one of these things? Up corner ramp? Yeah, it's an up corner ramp that smoothens out the corners. And now that gives us a lovely little platform for our particle accelerators. So let's place them in the center. It doesn't matter which way we face them. I might have made the platform a little bit wide, but that's fine. We'll put them here, and that way it has the thing for, like, if we can delete this area or put pipe holes over here to get the materials in, and the output is fine. It's got a whole tile of space for whatever we want to do with the output. Now, in terms of centering the particle accelerator, I think it's these two tiles are the center, so we kind of want to shift it a little bit, and it doesn't really center either way, so we'll just put it here. And then we'll do a second one here and a third one here. Ooh. That's a little tight, isn't it? Okay, maybe we'll just not center it. So we'll do it here, here, and here. That's perfect. That way it's kind of centered on the platform. Now we can do some decoration sort of up and over them, I guess, with some pillars or something or other. So we'll figure that out now. Since they're like these cool circular shapes, it'd be cool to do some sort of like weird circular shape, I guess. Let's try some stuff. What if we start with a, say, one of these and then go up a little bit? How many tiles was that? Let's do a proof of concept. We'll turn it. And then using double ramps, we can go this way. And then we can flatten out the double ramps using lower incline double ramps, right? No, we can't because they don't tile together here, right? Why can't I put another one right here? It actually forms a pretty cool shape. 1, 2, 3, but then that's already at the center, right? What if we just put a flat thing here and then tile it back down? That kind of creates like a weird archway. That's a really cool archway, honestly. I didn't mean to do that, but we can create like an archway like this. Obviously, it's not the right height because we need it to clear the actual particle accelerators. That's a really interesting looking archway. All right, we'll do that again, but a little bit higher this time. Well, we just figured out randomly how to build an archway. Let's go 2 higher. I think that clears it. So to build an archway, you just do a regular triangle, and then you do an 8-meter ramp onto it. And then to the 8-meter ramp, you add a 4-meter ramp. And if you had more room, you could flatten it even more if you wanted to. Then we added a 2-meter foundation, and then another 2-meter ramp. And then another 2-meter foundation underneath. And then we flatten out this part. And you could even not flatten out this part if you want like a little bit of a, like more geometry to this archway. Like if I just got rid of this. Does that look nicer? It looks like there's some stuff missing in there. No, that doesn't look nicer. So yeah, we'll just do a flat archway looking thing. That's a cool, nice, easy to build archway, I think. And then we just do the same thing on this side, and that clears the particle accelerators nicely. And now we can decorate this archway a little bit. Let's paint it black first. And I think if we put some cool lighting underneath and inside here, it will end up looking pretty nice. So let's do some billboards. It will be this, I'm thinking this lighting, or should we do a pattern inside? Let's see how this looks. Now, I don't think you can put billboards on a diagonal underneath here. It doesn't let you do billboards on a diagonal slant. There is a way to do this. It's just going to be really painful. You would essentially have to use a helper thing. Let's see if we can build this reasonably easily. No, it doesn't even let you build the painted beams easily here. Can we build one directly above here? You'd have to build something with like painted beams and then get rid of this. No, and then this doesn't go inside. No, there's no way to do this, I don't think. I can't do a half shift vertically upwards. So unfortunately, the underneath side isn't going to have billboards, which is kind of crap. But what can we do with this side? Not much. The billboards don't rotate this way perfectly either. But we'll see what it looks like with just the inside lit up. Looks kind of cool. But there's nothing to stop us from putting regular signs on top, right? No, we can't control onto a diagonal either. Okay, so there's no way to put any sort of lights onto a diagonal surface. Bear that in mind. But I think this archway looks kind of cool. So let's build the same thing on the other side and see what that looks like. 8 tall. That's pretty cool. Now we can just do arches all the way through if we want. Now we've got the archway on both sides. We can try to make a building out of this by connecting these. Not sure if that looks nice though. I think we stick to our concept of doing it open. So let's make this entire thing into a building. We'll give it a 2 tile space and we'll add another archway here. See how that looks. Added another 2 archways, and then we just got to do something about the center tiles. So we can, if we were to space 2 archways here, it'd be here and here, and that's a little bit too tight. So we can do a central archway like out here, and maybe like a bigger, thicker one. Now, how will we do that? Let's try some stuff. So what if we built our 3rd archway out this side, but out of like a double? So we'll do it like half here, like that. And then go up 8. We'll go up 9 this time. And then we'll go like this. I don't know if this will look nice, but let's give it a go. There's no harm trying new things. So we'll go up 1. Maybe we'll go up a second one. And then we'll go across with these. And now we're at the center again. So we'll flatten it out. And we just build the same thing on the other side. Seems to work out okay. Fill in the underneath. What do we think of this? Does this look alright? And then that should join perfectly down to here, right? Then we've got a big archway in the middle. Does the big archway in the middle look nice? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Kind of gives an interesting geometry. Not sure I like this. Let's try something else. What if we just did some diagonalness on the side here for the middle bit instead of archways? That kind of looks cool. And we'll do it the opposite way on this side. Easier to build, and I think it looks nice. And we can join this up a little bit as well. Add some more diagonal beams on it. Color that in. Does that look nice? Like this weird, interesting shape. And now we can probably put some signs in there and light it up. And I think it'll look pretty cool. Do the same thing on this side. Nothing super fancy, but I kind of dig it. I think it's a cool little housing for our particle accelerators. Let's color that in. How does that look? Does that look like a cool little building for our particle accelerators? I like it. We just got to add in some lighting for it. So we're going to have to use signs for this. And there's no, I don't think I can use my existing thing for it. So we're just going to have to manually erect some signs. The good thing about signs is hopefully we can get the matching angle to this. Oh, wow. Really? There's no matching angle to the 4-meter ramp? That is really sad. How is it? Why would they not have a matching angle to this? That's so weird. So if I do signs like this, it's just going to eventually mismatch. Let me build it on the end. It doesn't line up to the angle of the slant. What? That's super terrible. Why is that? Why is there no 45-degree turn for this? Because I suppose you're not meant to be building signs like this. Damn, I was going to do a LED strip along here. We're going to have to do something else then. Maybe we're going to use our painted beams to create just a little bit of geometry and texture. Otherwise, everything looks a little bit flat. I don't really like that. Painted beams should definitely fit along here, right? Surely. That's nice. And now can I paint this purple? How did I make this custom swash? And how do I make another one? I have no idea how I made that custom swash, but I'm just going to edit one of these swashes. This pink purple one looks decent. Wait, let me just paint this. No, I don't want it pink. I want it purple. So I want this to be the main purple. And that'll just be our purple colored swash. And if we paint purple beams in here, I know it's not emissive, but at least it gives a little bit of texture, right? And that's the only thing I can use to get the beams to the right diagonality and give some color to this diagonal. I'm just gonna go with that. Does look kind of cool. Let's paint it all in and see. Oh, want this to kind of join though. There we go. That looks kind of cool. I need to figure out how to finish this. And if we need, we can put beam connectors in between them to get rid of these gaps. And we'll figure out what we're going to do with this section. But if we paint the beam connectors, I assume we can just paint them purple to make them not look crazy. Oh, you can't paint the beam connectors. What? That's just silly. Why can't I paint the beam connectors? The beams can be painted, but the beam connectors can't be painted. That's fantastic. Then no beam connectors, and then just like tiny little gaps. Barely visible gaps. We're gonna have to live with that. Well, if the game doesn't give me the tools I need, then what can I do, right? Alright, let's just see if we can join this painted beam up. So from here, let's get it to the center point here. And then let's bring it up. And over. And then we can bring it across like this. If it let me do the beam connectors, this would look really cool. But unfortunately, we're limited by what the game lets us do. So we'll just do what we can. I don't think this is correct. That's correct. This is all one slant. What am I doing? That goes all the way down to here. Find the right snapping point. Now we'll do it from here. And try to get this matching this to the center point like here. And that goes up there. And then we'll follow this pattern on the other side of the wall too. And then we'll paint it all in purple. And maybe that'll look nice. Get it across this wall. So now we've got it all the way across this wall. This one needs to go into the center of this wall. Like here. Then we go up. Then we go across. Then we go up here. Across here. Maybe I'll do it from this side. Get rid of this one. Bring this to the center line. Go up. Go up along this diagonal. Then take it from here up here. And then should be able to connect these two perfectly. And that's pretty much it. Now let's paint it all in purple and see what that looks like. Cool new design pattern that we just discovered. Looks pretty decent. I prefer emissive lighting, but short of that, I think this is the best that we can do on these slanted diagonals. And that looks pretty cool. I like that. What do you guys think? Gives a little bit of a purple highlight to the building. Inside is the particle accelerators. I think the last thing that we need to do is probably these floors. I'm not a big fan of coated concrete for this because I don't think it stands out enough. Let's try a different floor. Go with the grip metal. I think it will look better. Oh no, I painted these. Yes, I know. Use the filter thing. I'll use the filter thing. I always forget to use the filter. You can press G to filter only the foundations. That way I won't accidentally paint other things. Alright, I think I've painted everything visible anyway. Except for these ones. And yeah, I think it looks a lot better with grip metal. Now you can't make these grip metal, can you? Oh, you can. Do we want all these to be grip metal? What do we think of that? I think that looks pretty cool. A nice open factory. Now I think this skirting needs to be up a little bit. Let's see what it looks like with a little bit of skirting. We'll use a 1 meter steel wall for it, and then maybe that'll look a little bit better. It just feels like the ramp transitioned directly onto the factory. It looks a little bit weird to me. I think that with a little bit of skirting, it looks a little bit better. Yeah, I like this. What do we think of this for our particle accelerator factory? I think that looks pretty cool. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's get some inputs and stuff into here and some power. So our recipe for this is going to be oil-based diamonds. So we need to input 200 crude oil per minute into each of these. We'll definitely do it through the floor holes. So we'll chuck some floor holes here. Is that a bit far? Like there, there, and there. Get some pipe going. Get it into horizontal to vertical, and there's our floor hole pipes. Now we can go underneath the subfloor and figure that out. But first we need to actually get into this subfloor. And get it through here. There. Make sure we shift it to the right spot. There, and one more over here. I think that looks pretty clean. I mean, we could have done the pipeline out here, but I'm not sure if I wanted to do that. Now, we can just link the pipelines here. Ooh, that's an interesting thing. Do we want to do that, or do we want to do it in the subfloor? Probably want to do it in the subfloor. Let's keep everything consistent. So let's go to the subfloor and do our pipelines the same way we normally do. So we actually need some subfloor down here. So let's build more floor. I've lost my pipelines. Ah, it's over here. So we'll keep the same consistent way we do pipelines, which is just placing these things. I don't think one is going to be long enough to go all the way, so we'll do a couple. We'll join this to create the pipeline, and then we will create these things over here. Some junctions underneath. And then we'll just connect it to the junction. Nice and easy. We'll clean up this bit. Don't want multiple pipelines going through here. And then we'll clean up the end. Get rid of these. We can leave this one for now. We'll sort that out in a bit. We got to figure out how to do a water tower here. And if... oh, I keep explaining water towers throughout the series. I'll make it brief. Basically, we want to elevate the pipe at some point before we go into this system. So we can do it in front of the factory, I guess. So like along here somewhere. That's not lined up. Do something like that. And if I just put up a wall here, that should be perfect. Maybe I want the wall a little bit closer. Like here. And then we can get this going up past wherever. You need the height past wherever you're trying to pump your liquid. So something like that will do. I can get rid of this. Kind of like a little eyesore over here, a little bit. I don't like this. I'm going to do my water tower somewhere else. I think over here would make the most sense. We'll use this wall. That way it's like part of the factory, right? So we'll do something like this. Get it going up. Get that going up. I like to put them at a slightly different angle. That way... oh wow, what the heck is this? That created the most interesting shape in the world. I kind of like it. I don't know if it's going to mess with the piping, but oh well. Now I can actually drill a subfloor entrance over here somewhere. Because what we can do over here is create an actual subfloor entrance. So if we do a central wall door like this over here. Over here we probably just want a regular wall. Do we want this to be steel though? That looks kind of cool. That way we can go in there and then we can access the subfloor. Why we want to access the subfloor? Because we need to get these pipes connected. So one of these pipes needs to connect to this. So I'm going to go over here and do that. That's directly under. So if we give it 2 tiles of space, that should give a nice clean 90-degree turn. Needs to go up 3 levels. Like that. And then we should be able to connect these two over there. So we need to turn it somewhere. So we'll line it up to this and this. Then we'll shift it out to, I think 4, right? And then that can turn here perfectly. And then that can connect to that perfectly. We'll get rid of this. And there we go. Nice and easy. Now that connects to there. This pipe can now just go out into the world and connect to over here somewhere. So we need to draw a pipeline all the way across and out this way. So that's going to be quite a journey. Let's start figuring out how to do that. Now, did we say we want to use this same area over here? I guess we can. I want it to turn along here somewhere so that it's not directly aligned to this same pipe. And then we can get it going up the wall. This annoying floor over here is a little bit stupid. All right, let's just do it from the pipe hole then. We'll do the same platforms as over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there. If we put a pipeline support there, we should be able to put a pipeline hole here. Like that. And then put that 2 ahead. And that should be a reasonable horizontal to vertical straight thing going there like that. Then we can connect that to that and we're sweet. Now for power, we can change this to a double wall outlet, right? Doesn't like double wall outlet here? Weird. I can't control replace the single wall outlet with a double wall outlet. That's a bit annoying. Or just manually do it, I guess. Connect that to power. And then we're going to need a pump at some point. So it's going to be over here. Connect that to power. And then we should be able to get our oil pumped from down here. Chuck in the appropriate power shards. And that should be pumping up to here now. Alright, now we've got to get this pipeline all the way back up to the subfloor. So we'll add our floors and then we'll put in our floor holes accordingly. I think that's all aligned. That looks like a straight line to me. And that should bring it into the subfloor. Now we need to insert our pumps. So on every single floor, make sure they're facing the right direction. Need to get power to these pumps. So we'll bring out our power somewhere here. Then we'll bring it up. And then get that connected. Do the same on every level. And now these pumps should all be functioning. Give it some time. There we go. And now we should have oil up here. Oh great, this thing fits exactly underneath this thing. Oh man. That's just annoying. Well, I suppose we could just move this pipe hole. There's no harm just moving it a little bit to this side, and then that should just connect. Oh, the horizontal to vertical doesn't do the thing. Alright. Let me figure... Oh god. Annoying mechanics. Fine, we'll turn this belt out. Turn this belt out to avoid this pipe hole. It's a very special pipe hole that warrants special belting requirements. There we go. I don't know why I'm trying so hard not to make things clip in the subfloor. I honestly don't really care. Now let's get this to the right height. So from here, 1, 2. That should be the correct height that we want everything. We'll get that up. And now we'll just drag this pipe all the way to where we need it to go. And that shouldn't clip any of our belts. It should fit lovely and underneath our belts. Let's try to figure out where it goes. I think around here. And then if we put a pipeline along here to here, you should find that it goes directly underneath our belts. So that's why pipelines can just freely move around wherever they want. And we basically want to connect it all the way over there. So once that is all connected, I will come back and talk about it. All right, that pipeline is now in and connected to our particle accelerators. So we should be getting crude oil in our lovely new open factory over here. Now, over here, we want to probably... what if we put this back in? Does that look okay? Kind of want this back in. Doesn't look too bad. I've painted all our oil pipelines black as well because we want to sort of keep organized. So I put that as a black carbon steel finish. That should look a little bit better. Just so when we're in the subfloor, it's a little bit easier to see the different types of finishes that we have. I think that looks pretty cool. I like this factory. I think I want to put in a little bit of lighting over here just because We want to make this look more intentional, like we purposefully did this rather than it's just like jutting out. I feel like because it's black, it needs a little bit of lighting. Does that look nice? Maybe if we border it. I think that looks kind of nice. Gives it a little bit of a slightly, like, it makes it more visible. Otherwise, the black pipeline, you can't really see what's going on over there. Maybe we should use these, so it's not like too crazy. That looks kind of cool. And now it's like a little bit more visible as well. All right, cool. So we've got all our oil in. Next, we need to get power to get these actually in. So what's the best way to do power for this? We can hide the power cables underneath the subfloor if we wanted to. That's a bit annoying to build. So let's just see what normal power poles look like. So if we just put a power pole directly next to it, we should just be able to connect power like this. And that doesn't look too bad. And now where do we get power from over here? That's a good question. And we've got power poles over here we can run. Or we can run the power through the station across the road. I don't really like that. This power pole kind of is looking a little bit crazy and messy as well. If we run it over through the drone station, that's straight. That looks straight enough to me. We can run it into here somewhere. So like here. And then into here. That's straight. And then we'll just connect it through here, I think is probably the easiest way to do this. That doesn't look too bad. One day I'm going to have to go through this and hide all these power lines. I don't know if we like or dislike these power lines coming through here, but it's kind of fine. But more importantly, we are now producing diamonds. Look at that. I think this water tower is working. Let's just double check. Yep, we're getting flow rate of 600. And that should fill all of these perfectly. Beautiful. And now we have diamonds. And with these diamonds, we are now ready to produce time crystals. So let's get some. Now we can do this over or under. I think I like the idea of the belts being visible. We'll get it going that way. And then we'll link it through around the back or something to the time crystal factory. Visible belts look nice. I'm going to do this. We don't need to sync this because all 120 that's being produced in these 3 particle accelerators should be consumed. But now we have diamonds. Fantastic. What we need to do now is build another factory next door to this thing and turn these diamonds into actual time crystals. Now we need 60 time crystals. So we're making 120 diamonds. So we need 10 converters to build this. Okay. Let's see what 10 converters looks like. These buildings also look so cool that I don't really want to hide them. And it's a 1-to-1 input-output. So I kind of want them on an open platform too. Let's see how big. So if it's 10 converters, it'll be like 5 on each side, right? It kind of fits in a very similar profile, but smaller than this, but wider. What's the minimum amount of space I can have in between here? Like say 1 tile of space. We can do a very similar build to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a shame that this is 7 and I can't build this in a... Oh, I could build this... just trying to think if I can build this inside a blueprint to make it a little bit easier to make archways. So if it's 7 tiles, can I actually fit it across here? I can. We'd have to probably collapse this in a little bit more and then it'll just barely fit. And we can make exactly the same building over here for time crystals, but maybe make it white or something. Oh, that will look pretty sick, I think. All right, let's try that. So we basically want this same platform, but probably maybe we'll do this one in black concrete because I kind of want this to be a different color. Let's try it in with white archways. So we'll start off with our ramps in black coated concrete. So we'll start from here and it's like 3. And then a space, and then 3, and then we're going to need more floor. And we'll do ramps along here, and we'll do ramps along here. And then we want this triangular ramp. And now we need to fill in the rest with just regular floor. Alright, so I finished filling in this top floor over here, and I painted it black, and this one we're going to do white archways, and I've just built the half archway out of a blueprint so that it's just a little bit easier for me to build the archways. And I'm going to save this blueprint. Alright, save the blueprint now. If we just clear the blueprint builder and get rid of it. We should be able to use that blueprint now. So we get this half arch going and we'll put it in default mode that we can rotate it into the right spot and it should just fit there. Oh, this is so much easier to build now. And there, and that should be perfect. Might need to get rid of some doubleness over here. There we go. And there we go. Nice white archway this time. So I'm going to build out the other 4 archways. And then we'll... Actually, I'll just build out this entire building. You saw me do it before. I'll just do it again. Alright, cool. My structure is in now. I'm going to try to fit these converters in there. Alright, so my halfway point is this middle tile over here. So we're going to keep that clear. And then we're going to leave some space for thingo. So, oh god, it's going to be super tight. It's going to have to go here, right? Let me just do 1. Let's just try with 1 to see if, or like a pair of them, for example. No, that's too tight. Oh no. So this building is going to have to be a little bit different to the other building then. That's a shame. But that's okay. We can amend it a little bit without changing too much of it. Alright, let me get rid of these archways. We're going to have to build these archways slightly differently. And that's fine, I guess. And I guess they don't need to be as tall either. It was an interesting concept, but I don't think it's going to work out for us. So let's not force it too much. Otherwise, our build's going to look really ugly. This is just called poor designing. And yeah, you just got to make sure you do your space maths before you start putting stuff down. Otherwise, you're going to run into this problem. Now, the converter themselves, they actually do fit on this platform, right? It's actually fine. So if I take the center line over here and the center line over here, let's just put the converters in first and then we'll build the archways around the converter. I feel like the center point is this tile. Then we need to clear the entire center point for here for the output. Or should we just do 1 input? I'm just trying to think. The input is going to come around this side and then just go down the center. And then the output needs to go around one or the other side. Okay, that should be fine. Let's just chuck down our converters on either side. And there's sort of room for 1 more. Okay, I can shift the converters if I need to put a sink somewhere at some point. But for now, we'll just keep it on the center of the platform. So we'll do something like this. So 10 converters are in. Now we need to create the roof area of this, I guess. And we're going to do something similar. But because we have more room on this side, let's do the archways this way and we'll do something different, I guess. What if we were to just put in a triangle right here and then just double ramp straight up? Nope, that's not good enough. We need to do some thing over here for the archway. Go up 3. Shove in a triangle. And then we'll do double ramps. And that should clear the converters pretty nicely. Now we can just flatten it and make a flat building, I guess. It doesn't really matter. Or we can do the same thing we did here and make it a sort of an archway kind of thing. And give it a little bit more of an interesting angle, I guess. This is my halfway point, right? Or is it this one? This is 15. So that's my halfway tile. Which is this one. So if we were to flatten it, let's see how that would look. We'll do the same thing on this side. So we go up 3. Fit it with a triangle. And then we double ramp across here. What do we think of that? Does that look nice? It's too archy. Too archy. That's a very technical term. What if we just flatten it across here? That looks pretty nice. And I might not even fill in the underneath part. And it'll just be like more interesting geometry. Alright, let's replicate that across here then. Do that. Get 2 meter ramps, 2 of those. And then it's just flat all the way across for 3. And then 2 meter ramps back down. We're making a bridge, guys. This is how you make a bridge. Put in this. And then link that up. And then that's it. We've got an archway on both sides. That looks pretty cool. Now we need to figure out how to link all this together. Well, we don't need to link it. We can just put in another archway in the directly in the center over here. Should we put in a third one, or does that look okay? Maybe we should put in a third one. I like that. It's got an interesting shape. Let's paint it all in white. Okay, that's what it looks like in white now. And we just got to add in some lighting, I guess. So the only place that fits lighting is in here, right? So we'll just add it here, I guess. As good as any. Does that stick out? Oh, sticks out a little bit over here. I don't like that. So we'll build it from the top and then we'll get it sticking out the bottom. That probably is better. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And none of this is clipping into the actual converters, is it? That's good. And what we can do on this one is put lighting underneath here because this part is actually flat. So we'll put some underneath billboards as well. Now let's light these billboards up and see how that all looks. I don't mind the converter building being slightly different to the particle accelerator building. It actually makes sense. I mean, they're two different functions. I think that looks pretty cool. Now to tie this whole concept together, we probably need these purple painted beams somewhere. So let's add in a thing of purple painted beams and then see how that looks. Do we need to maybe add some diagonalness to this? Will that look nice? I don't think that'll look nice. I don't think it needs the diagonal connectors like this thing did. I think we just do the purple painted beams on one of these. Let's do it on the center one and see how that looks. Here's a black beam. Let's paint that in purple and see what that looks like. Do we want to leave it black? We'll try it black and then we'll paint it purple just to see how it looks. If it looks terrible, we'll change it back to black. Oh man, the purple on white looks pretty sick. I kind of like this. Add another one. Alright, here's the building with all the purple in, and I think it's looking pretty cool. Maybe we just need to tie in this part. Or maybe that's like too fat. What if we did 2-meter foundations across here and painted it white? And now they kind of look like doorways. Yeah, I think that adds to it. So we'll add 2-meter foundations to the top over here. And we just paint that in white. And do we need a painted beam that goes across it? I think that looks pretty cool. Or is that too much? What do we think of that? I think that looks cool. The joint over here kind of looks a little bit janky, but there's not much I can do about it since we can't paint to beam connectors. Unless I do it across here. Ooh, what if we did that? And that hides that bit as well. Like that. Do the same thing on this side. So we start it from one tile out. Go all the way across. And then across out here. Paint that in purple. Oops. Oh god, I wish there was an undo button. And yeah, I think that looks pretty sick. What do we think of this? I reckon that looks pretty cool. I mean, these buildings look so cool that I just don't really want to do anything to them. Alright, cool. I think we'll leave it at that for now. And now we will connect to the actual inputs and outputs. So we're going to make sure we can actually manifold this. Let's start with the inputs. I believe I put the inputs on this side. Yeah, that's all the inputs. So we got to get a splitter to get into all of that. We'll point it in this direction because that's where sort of our stuff is coming from. No need to raise this or anything. We'll just do it on the ground. Join the belts. We'll set the recipes to make time crystal. Alright, they're all set. Now we need to power all this stuff. So we can just do a beam, I guess. Because the power for this one is all on this side. And they're all on the inside. So it makes sense to do a beam. Now I'm going to offset it a little bit from the center. Because then the belt's going to come through the beam, right? Then again, where is the belt going to come out of? it's going to come out of here. Do we want the belt to go around, or do we want the belt to just go into the subfloor? I reckon the subfloor. We're going to go the subfloor route for the belt, because otherwise, either way, a belt's going to be really weird tying between the two factories. And that way I can put a beam like out here. 7 meters seems good to me. Then we'll just get it going out here. And then where is power going to go through? Yeah, we'll just do power poles across here or something like that. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with power yet. But I want the painted beam to end out here somewhere. So 7 meters, and we'll connect it through here. We'll add our beam connectors this time over here. We'll get our power onto both sides. We'll probably do it on the top. That way they can all join. We'll connect the power to the top of the bar and do that on both sides. And then we'll just connect all that power together. Fantastic. Now we need to get that power out somewhere. So if I did it, say here, and then we just joined it via a power pole to this side somewhere, probably around here. Do a straight line. Connect that through here. Do something like that. It's a little bit awkward looking with the power poles, but we'll just leave it there for now. It's fine. That should get power to all of these. They're all yellow now. Let's get the input next. So we'll do it through the subfloor, I reckon. It's going to be a little bit annoying to do. Let's get one into the subfloor first. So that goes there. Why doesn't that connect? Wait, is that coming out the right way? It is. Why can't you go into the subfloor here? That's super weird. Is it like not aligned somehow to something? Is that a particle accelerator problem? What? Why weren't you aligned to the subfloor? It's so weird. I don't think that's actually connected. It's like the correct thing, but it won't click into here for some reason. Is this a particle accelerator problem? That's super annoying. Alright, I'm just gonna punch this through the subfloor then. And we'll just pretend it's going through the floor hole, but it's not actually. So it'll be like this all the way to the ground because we're going this way. I need to create some more subfloor first. Let's just do this side first so I know which way to go. I'm sure this subfloor thing will be fine. So we should just be able to put one here. And that should click in. So that's perfectly happy with that. I don't know why the other one doesn't work properly. But we need to get into there and link that up. That looks about right. And that should connect to there perfectly fine. And now we can get that onto the floor. And then we can do this one just using pretend subfloor holes, but not actually using the holes. Weird. I think that must be a particle accelerator alignment problem. I feel like even this isn't aligning properly. But basically we want to just get it across here. Like that. A little bit of turn is fine. But now that's getting the diamonds across, which is the important thing. And it's coming up here. Fantastic. Now it's distributing the diamonds out here, and all of these should now be making time crystals. Great. All of these put together, we should be getting now 60 time crystals per minute, which is the exact amount that we need. We need to figure out something for the output of this time crystals. They're going to be fully consumed, so we can, to save space, face them inwards. And we'll put the joining belt around the back so we can decide which way we want the stuff to go. It doesn't particularly matter because I suspect everything that we're going to do here is going to go into the subfloor. So I guess we'll just start from here. It makes sense. Add some merges. Pointing in that direction. And then we'll loop it around this way. And then we'll point it in this direction. And now we'll just add the belts. Just like that around the corner. And that should create one output worth of 60 time crystals. Now you might ask, how are we going to expand this build in the future? I actually have no idea. We might just have to build more of these buildings, I guess. But at the moment, we don't have the resources to actually build more of these. So we're going to work with this for now, and then we'll worry about expansion in the future. We can just add more of these buildings around our city. We don't have to have everything vertically stacked and centralized in one place. I mean, these ones are producing just enough for our alien power matrix. So I think that just might be the end of the production chain for this whole section of stuff. Like all of this will just be responsible for producing 10 alien power matrix per minute. And we can just say that's what this building area does. And then if we want to double that, we could just put power shards and double everything, right? All right, fantastic. Now our time crystals are out. We can take this into the subfloor and do whatever we want with that. So that's working out well. I think that's pretty much all we want to do for this episode. Maybe we just want to put some signs in here to tell us how much stuff we're producing so we don't forget. We haven't done any signage for anything, so let's add some. So we're going to add a sign for our SAM fluctuators. We might just put that one here. I hate it when my signs go the wrong way. Alright, got my signs in. Let's just get that to be SAM fluctuators. And we're outputting 50. Similarly over here, we need to go over and mark this thing. I don't know where I'm going to put the sign for this thing. Probably around here somewhere. Right over here, diamonds. And I believe we're outputting 120 diamond here. Right, available 0. And they're being used to make time crystal. Fantastic. Now we'll write on the time crystals. Oh, there's nowhere to put this sign. We'll set the time crystal icon and then we'll write in how many time crystals we're producing, which I believe is 60. All that to just produce 60 time crystals. How measly. All right, cool. So the time crystals are all good. We're not using them for anything at the moment, so we won't do anything with the output just yet. We'll do that in a future episode. But we've got our factory done, and I think it looks pretty cool, these two factories. Two little open factories, because the machines look cool, so we leave them out in the open. I don't think it's a good idea to seal off these cool looking machines. So we'll leave it at that. We just got to do a couple more sign, like little admin things. So we'll write down how many these SAM fluctuator materials are being used. So we've got 5 using 50, that's 250 wire and 150 steel pipe. We never wrote that over there. This is our steel pipe. We're using 150 of our 300. And then over on this side, this belt of wire, we're using 300 now. Wait, sorry, 250, not 300. There we go. All right, and that's pretty much done. So these are our 2 new buildings. We'll leave it there this episode. We've got plenty more to do next episode. We still got to finish off building our power shards. So that's just one component. We've still got many more challenging components to go after that. But I like the look of these 2 buildings. I think they look pretty sick. And this is the design we're going to follow for our particle accelerators and converters going forward. So there's plenty more to do. If you don't want to miss out, don't forget to leave a like and sub. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.